running up the score.
Jerry Napoleonello.
This team has been on the clock for 4 months now. Why are we taking this down to the 4-minute mark? You know, you have 10 minutes here. 10 minutes here, but you've had 4 months. The dude's got 1,021 text messages that he hasn't read yet. Did we not notice that?
Kevin Donlin.
Bryce Harper's a great player. He's very, very talented. Aside from last year, but I blame myself. I'm pretty sure I'm the reason for that with fantasy baseball.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
I can't believe that's real. I mean, again, I'm not. I shouldn't hate. I'm not going to be the kind of person that hates.
No,
He is doing enough hating for the both of us.
As a Cowboys fan, the expectations are so high, and it's just, you're dug into the ground by the end of the season.
You're basically like what the Patriots are, but like you try to do it, but you just don't.
No.
Yeah. At least the Jets, you know what I mean? They have excuses.
This is Running Up the Score, your one-stop spot for all things sports. Now here's your hosts, Jerry Napoleonello and Kevin Donlin.
Kind of stepping back into this whole Houston Astros thing, and we've talked about it. We're not going to get into it in that aspect. We're not going to talk about the Astros basically, but just the whole thing. We never took or never even thought of the side of what they kind of were doing. We were just kind of thinking of it as oh well, it's tarnishing the sport. And, as Yankee fans, it could have cheated us out of a World Series possibly, or just getting to the World Series. We never thought about the individual player. And now you're seeing more and more players come out. Masahiro Tanaka saying that, they cheated the Yankees, this and that. Just guys coming out. But now you're starting to hear more and more stuff. So something that dropped, I think it was yesterday, was a pitcher. Journeyman pitcher is suing the Astros for ruining his career, basically, and, now he's not playing. So we never took the side of, the positions and how this affects the player. And when you think about it, now Mike Clevenger, pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, Trevor Bauer, an ex-pitcher of the Cleveland Indians who's really good friends with Mike Clevenger. They were both outspoken about it. They're not happy. Trevor Bauer is all over Twitter about the Astros. It's actually pretty funny. If you haven't read any, just go through his Twitter. It's pretty funny.
You know what? Because he probably had a couple of starts against them where he thought something was up. He says on Part of My Take, the Barstool Sports podcast, because they had him on right around January 20th, so it was kind of right around the whole news dropping on the suspensions and stuff like that and the firings. He basically said that he had 3 different people that did not know each other in baseball that came up to him and said that watch out for the Astros, they're using some sign stealing tactics. So he kind of he took a different approach when he played the Astros. And, Mike Clevenger also said that he, had word, and then also news just broke today, again, right before we went on, saying that the Nationals were basically told that, maybe you should watch out, they're stealing signs, which may have helped because the Nationals ended up winning the World Series. Alex Cora actually went and said something to the Nationals about it. So that's interesting. I didn't get to read the article. I just saw a notification on my phone saying, Alex Cora and other players or people told the Nationals to watch out for something like this. So back to what I was talking about. So scary.
It really is. So we never took the side of, the player. And now when you think about it, now say, as Trevor Bauer was saying in Part of My Take, you take a position, a right fielder to start with, and he has a pretty good season. Now, the right fielder for the Astros, stealing signs, knowing when a curveball's coming, rakes it that year. Now, they go into free agency, who's getting the better contract? Who's getting the better team to look at him? It's going to be the guy from the Astros.
Again, the second I saw this come out, I knew this would be an issue.
Absolutely. I mean,
in so many aspects. The baseball's got. I told you a while back that they were in for a rude awakening with this, and now you got players suing organizations, and like you said, they're going to be. He's not even keeping any of the money.
Yeah, he's looking to get I think it's 31. I forget the number. I think it was $31 million, and he's looking to donate it to charities. He's just basically saying his last stop in the big leagues. He appeared in 11 games, 5 starts for the Blue Jays in 2017. Struggled with a 6.31
and one
ERA.
Of those starts could have been
the last start that he's had in the big leagues was against the Astros, and they routed him for 5 home runs and 18 hits. And he hasn't played in the big league since.
Yeah, so he's got a argument, and that's this is almost laughable. This is and it's not laughable on the player's stake at all. I mean, the Astros just don't realize the kind of crap that they put themselves through.
Yeah.
I understand winning is important, and they had a good young team. All these great players were young and ready to go, but this is going to another level. And like I had said, baseball is really, really got a lot coming its way on the aspect of this whole situation, because going forward even as well, like you said, they heard rumblings within around the league about this even occurring, and nothing was done about it. So obviously, if you got the average player who's in a completely different city from the entire organization of the Houston Astros, how is Major League Baseball not aware of this at any regard? So there's a lot of problems that are going to be coming as, again, we're in the early ages of this. There's really not much. You got stories here and there coming. There's going to be bigger stories than even this coming out beyond this. And for baseball, this isn't going to be an easy fix. This isn't like steroids. This isn't where you can just drug test a player and the problem goes away. Shoo, bye. Yeah. Someone gambling on the game or something. You make a statement out of one of the players and boom, shoo, it goes away. This might not go away as quickly as a lot of players or a lot of fans would even like it to, or even Major League Baseball especially would like it to.
Well, I urge everybody to kind of look into the full versions of some of these clips that I'm going to play. It's basically just Mike Clevenger, but on 2 different podcasts. So Mike Clevenger was on the Mike Stud podcast, YNK, you know what I mean. Mike Stud, an ex-baseball player, played at Duke with Marcus Stroman, ended up getting Tommy John surgery, started rapping in the time of him rehabbing, figured out that he was he was a really good singer. Went that route because baseball wasn't working out for him, with injuries. So now he's, a big time, rapper. So it's pretty funny, but he has a podcast, and the cool thing about him is that he's so close to the whole sports business and industry and all the players in basically any sport. He's cool with Julian Edelman. He's cool with Marcus Stroman, obviously. And just he's really in that industry. So he gets Mike Clevenger on his podcast just to talk about it. And it's interesting to hear what Mike Clevenger had to say.
This was far above and beyond someone just sitting on second base, watching you tip your pitches. And for them to go there that far and basically change their whole, they changed that whole organization with those 3 years, man. They flipped the whole script around. There's guys that got $100 million deals out of this, and we don't even know what their batting average would be if they didn't know a curveball was coming. And I have boys that I grew up, those friends, close friends, great people, families, kids that literally were taking out loans, working 3 jobs in the off season to make ends meet, to still try to chase that light. And if it's one of them that's getting knocked around or sitting back down, not seeing it back, because someone was cheating the game that hard and they expect us to brush it by the wayside. And players don't want to speak out, and people at the network want to be quiet. This is something that I'm not gonna be quiet. This is bullshit, man. You shouldn't be quiet.
I've never seen someone nail something so because he's
and
so
just,
correct.
And he has I have another clip of him, and he's
But it's incredible
getting,
how correct he is, and he's right. A lot of people, I'm telling you, a lot of fans as well think that this isn't a big issue.
Yeah,
this is a very big issue for baseball.
Yeah,
and a lot of players are very upset at the aspect. And like he said, man, people's lives and taking out loans, trying to get up to the majors, try to make that serious money. They got families to take care of. You can understand it's not easy to live even in New York.
Yeah.
So it's to actually have these guys jumping around left and right, and you got players that were basically hand gifted it because he knew a curveball was coming. It
Absolutely.
really is a bad look for baseball right now in so many aspects that, especially if it's known that they knew about this.
Yeah. And this is Mike Clevenger again. He's being interviewed while he's getting a tattoo, but it's just him really just right off the cuff and just telling you how he feels. So this is Mike Clevenger as well. I think it was Momentum. It's some media company on YouTube. But I will post the links in the caption below so everybody can check out the full thing. It's definitely worth listening to. Definitely.
There's a lot more that the public doesn't see because you don't see the money being placed. You don't see guys going up and down. So you're not seeing those guys literally working their ass off to finally get a glimpse that literally living off their parent, taking 2 different jobs in the off season, not even being able to have to lift at 2 a.m., bro. I've been there. I've had to do that. I've had to live with my mom till I got to the big leagues. And now you're telling me that someone could have potentially shorted my career or sent me back down, made me figure shit out because they knew what I was throwing when I was in their park? So many guys are only there trying to figure out how can I stay here? What will make me stay here? But to each their own. But I'm not going to sit here and just be quiet about with someone blatantly taking millions of dollars and food off my table, let alone other people's table.
I think the best way to put that when you see a video like that is you literally don't realize that millions of dollars get put into this game and that players are aware of the amount of money is there to be made. And like he said, man, if you're a young pitcher coming into the league and the first start that you ever have is against the Houston Astros and you realize they know every single pitch that you're going to throw, you get roughed up and you get sent right back to the minors with no idea if you're ever going to see another chance in Major League Baseball. And that's what the Houston Astros did to these players. And it's just wrong. Yeah. It's probably the best way to put it. It's wrong in so many ways. And again, to the average fan that thinks this isn't an issue, you have no idea what's coming. It's going to be bad. There's going to be worse stories than this. And like he said, there's people out there that want him to be quiet about this. There's no reason he should have to be quiet about it.
Baseball, a lot of the people in baseball.
Of course, absolutely. They want this to be hushed up and put under the rug. It's not going to be because it was a big issue.
I think what the coolest thing about that is, light point of this whole thing is Mike Clevenger is a star in baseball. He's one of the better pitchers in the league. And the fact that he's not even thinking about he's not talking about himself, really.
You know what that's called? That's called being an amazing teammate.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We've talked about this numerous times about how you can't just teach someone to be a great teammate.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, Mike Clevenger is probably one of the best teammates that you can possibly have.
Exactly. And I thought it was, I guess, because he was there.
Of course,
they all are. He was at that
all
point.
All those great players, absolutely.
And like I said, the minor leagues is such a long period of time that some guys just don't get out of that. With different sports, you're going straight to the majors. You're going straight to the league. And with baseball, you got double single A, you got single A, you got double A, you got triple A,
to get up to Major
and
League
it's
Baseball. A lot of things need to go right for you.
Yeah, if you're not a top 10 pick, you may not see the league for 3 years.
Man, you don't even know what's going on in these minor league teams, the teams that we don't even see on television. Yeah. This is a big issue for baseball, okay? And there's going to be other reports coming out. There's almost there's absolutely no shot that they like this isn't going to be a bigger story than people can even imagine. Like, this is a big concern.
Yeah.
And people aren't understanding this. There's a lot of parts that are going into play with this.
Yeah.
It wasn't right what they did. They had millions of dollars were based on the Houston Astros, but even going back underneath and seeing the different little aspects that even these minor league teams from these, towns that half of us haven't even heard of.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going on down there?
Yeah.
There's garbage cans down there too.
And it's funny though, when it comes to minor leagues and a joke of an organization, I should say, because we're done with this whole Astros thing until something else breaks on this story. It's just
you know it.
Like I think we've hit on every single portion of this story that we could have that's out there.
For more Running Up the Score, go follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at RUTS Sports.